Hello and welcome to Lesson 1.D, Basic Console Input and Output, or I.O. for short. In this lesson, what we're going to learn is how to write information to the console, to a terminal screen, so that users can read it, and how to read what they type at the keyboard. So this isn't real exciting I.O. where you have lots of pictures and drop-down boxes and dialogues and use your mouse and things. It's just reading from the screen and typing on a keyboard. But we can get it going really quickly. So let's take a look at what's going on. When we write to the console, Java environments have a built-in object which is called system.out that corresponds to the console. So this is already taken care of for you by the Java runtime environment that hooks up whatever the output device is to something called system.out in your program. And we've got a couple of different methods that let us write to system.out. We can use system.out.println or system.out.print. Both of them take one parameter, the string that you want to output. So it can be something enclosed in double quotes, it can be a string variable, it can be any combination of those that you want, like we used in lesson 1.c. So what's the difference between the two? System.out.println prints out whatever you have in parentheses, and then it advances to a new line, so the next thing you print will be on another line. System.out.print prints whatever you've got in the parentheses and then stays on the same line. So the next thing you print continues exactly where you left off. So here's some examples. If in your Java code you had something that said system.out.println 1, and then system.out.println 2, and then system.out.println 3, your output would consist of 1, 2, and 3 all on separate lines. If, on the other hand, you had system.out.print for each of those strings, 1, 2, and 3, your output would look like this, everything concatenated on one line. And the very next thing you printed would show up right after the word 3. Now, both println and print expect a single string expression as a parameter, but you can concatenate string expressions by connecting them with the plus sign operator, so that you put two things together and println or print treats it as if it's one particular string. So if I take the string constant this plus is a test, that's the exact same thing as if I put this is a test all within double quotes. Note, including spaces between words is important. If I didn't put this space right here after the word this, when I concatenate them, I'm going to get this is all as one word instead of with a space in between them. Now we can also insert some special characters into our output strings by using what are called escape characters. Escape characters are triggered by using this backslash, which on your keyboard is usually on the row of keys that ends with the letter P. There are usually a few special characters to the right of that. This one is the backslash. It's different than the forward slash, which shows up on the bottom of your keyboard with the question mark. This one's called the backslash. If you include \n, it inserts a new line of text. If you insert \t, that gives you a tab. \double quote will actually include the double quote character in your output. And \\/ is how you would include a backslash in your output. So let's just see an example of that. If you had system.out.println and the one parameter you gave it was 1 \t 2 \n 3 \n \double quote 4 \double quote again, and then your double quote that ends this entire string, the output you get is 1. It tabs over and does a 2. It does a new line to put the 3 in. It does a new line again and puts in double quote for double quote. Okay, that's enough about output for now. How do we get any input? How do we know what the user has typed on the keyboard? Well, just like we had an object called system.out, there's an object called system.in that's already connected to the keyboard whenever you run a Java program. So you could tell what a user is typing if only you could hook up to the object system.in. Java provides a class that's called a scanner that you can hook up to system.in. So you can read whatever is being typed. The example on the following page shows what you need to do to use a scanner. In order to use the scanner, you need to be able to have the scanner class visible to Java. So we have this import statement. You're going to see that Eclipse is going to put that in for you automatically, so you don't need to remember how to type this. Then, let's say we were writing our own class called console.io. We had our main method in here. We're going to create a variable that's of type scanner. So I say scanner, give it a name. Give it any name I want. I'm going to call it console. And that equals a new scanner, which is hooked up to the object called system.in. You're going to want to have a statement just like this anytime you use a scanner. You can change the word console to whatever you want. The rest of it needs to stay exactly the same. Then I'm going to create a couple of variables called S1 and S2. And I'm going to say S1 is console, that's the same variable that you used up here, dot next. That means read the next token from the console, any characters that somebody has typed in up until they hit enter or hit space or hit tab. Then I'm going to say S2 equals console.next line. This reads the next line from the console, everything up until they hit return, so it could include spaces. Then when I'm all done using my console, I close it. Say console.close. At the end of this code, S1 has whatever the user typed up until the first time they put white space. S2 has whatever they typed up until they hit the carriage return. So that's an example. In the next video, you're going to be able to see me using Eclipse to implement things like this, so you can see what will happen step by step.